So why are you whispering now? Didn't do it 6 weeks ago.
Also, you know that new hole in the ball?
Have you ever seen a roo kick? Have you ever seen an emu run under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the one? Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team? It's more than a game. The footy's in our veins. It's time to go. It's a Northern Footy Show. Get out of our way. We wanna see them play.
All right, guys, welcome to the Northern Footy Show. We have another guest dialing in at some stage through the night, Jamie Churchill, Bonners. It's going to be a big week of footy. I'm pretty pumped. We have a couple of special guests, but before we go, any news, anything you want to share, anything from Diamond Creek that's happened at all?
Well, fantastic. As people know, we were down there a few weeks ago. I think Daz set off the young kids early, and it was just pandemonium from there. They put a magnificent Fight MND night on. It was great fun. We enjoyed every minute of it. And they raised $27,000.
There it is, up on
which
the screen.
Is just amazing. And the girls who did on the night, they had Tony Shaw doing the auctions, Ray Shaw losing his mind and paying umpires off to make it even.
Yep,
and
cash.
The best part of all, the loser had to go in the water, and it was a draw.
It was very well structured, the umpiring.
It was amazing, actually, yeah. It was a great night.
I did notice a lot of other clubs did a lot of other MND stuff, which is great. I think last time I seen it, it was well into the millions that have been raised for such a great charity, which is fantastic. But without any further ado, we have a couple of special guests that joined us. It's Destination King, we call him.
Destination night at the Northern Footy
Hopkins,
Show.
The president of the Hurstbridge Football Club, has joined us. We'll speak to him in a minute. And Mitch Machete, also from Hurstbridge and also playing VFL at Port Melbourne, has come in to spend the night with us. Boys, very quickly, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. The Destination Club, how's it sitting with you?
Fantastic. Thanks for inviting me back. I thought it'd been a while since I've heard from you.
We love you.
Yeah. It's good. It's fantastic. It was good to get back on the winners list on the weekend. Getting over the top of a very feisty Eltham side.
Yep.
But yeah, couple slow weeks there, and then back into it now. We're actually down to Beverley Road this week for our first ever appearance there.
Yep.
So hopefully get the job done there, and continue on our journey to where we want to be in September.
Yeah. It's a successful year so far for you guys. You're sitting, I know this was your goal, to make finals, and the only person that's really stood out is Heidelberg, to the point that, where are they, but everyone else has been pretty even in that. And it's going to be a fight to the end for this Final Four, but I'm pretty confident you get in there. Now, I'm going to come back to you because my special guest has just come in. I think you're not special. You're very special.
Yeah.
But we won't leave Jamie in there for too long. Jamie, how you doing, buddy?
Good, thanks, Daz. How are you? Can you hear me?
I forgot we can't hear him the way it's so structured. We can't hear you, but you can hear us. That's all right. The ears aren't in. But thank you so much for coming on, buddy. How have you been?
I've been really good, thanks, mate. I've been sitting in the waiting room.
Tell me, Jamie. Sorry, mate, to cut you off. Tell me, the new song, we love it. It's living in my head rent-free. Thank you so much for writing this for us. What's your feedback been on it? The Young Talent Time page last night was going bananas.
Mate, it seems like people like it. It was a pleasure to write. It was great to do something for the Northern Footy Show. It's a great thing that you're doing, and it was great. It was a pleasure.
Jamie, what are you doing with yourself now? Douglas Park Riot, how's that going for you? I know you're in Sydney, living in that horrible state of Sydney, but tell me, how's the band going?
The band's going awesome. As you can see, Douglas P. Riot our mascots there in the background wearing some of our merchandise. We play larrikin rock and roll. We've got a gig coming up at King Street, Erskineville at the Mosh Pit Bar on Saturday, the 3rd of August. And that's with us, Douglas Park Riot, the FNCs, the Froth Dogs, and Blank Display. It's a gig called Gronk Fest 4. So come down and get your Gronk on.
Mate, that's great. Listen, I'm going to let you go. We're having sound issues. We can't hear you. We know you can hear us. We're going to have to reschedule this for Sunday and get you back on. I'm sorry, I'm making this up on the fly, pretending I can hear. We cannot hear a thing, but we're going to get you back on. Thank you so much for coming on. And from us and from Bonners and I, it has been fantastic. I love the song. We're so grateful. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show when I can get the ears in. Take care, buddy. Enjoy the state of origin.
Boys. Have a good one. Rock and roll.
I've never had to wing anything more in my life. Just for
those the subtitles.
For those we couldn't hear it. Generally at home in the studio, I have ears on in the background, but we couldn't do that here. So
it's good to put a face to the song at least.
Yes. So, no, Jamie is an absolute champion. A bit of background there, which we didn't unfortunately get to do. TV child star on Young Talent Time and then on Neighbours. I've known him for years and years. He's such a fantastic guy. And when we reached out and, being a musician, I said, Jamie, I really want to, have a theme song that's just written for us. And he wrote that for us, which was fantastic.
He struggled with his a little bit of time living with you for a while. So probably career just took a little bit while he was living with you and then slowly built back up once he moved out.
Yep, pretty much. That's how it goes.
That's what I thought.
So, I have to, we have to just move him on from the studio. He was sitting there. So anyway, we'll get him back in on a Sunday when the ears are in. Apology for that.
Question for you. How's it become a destination club? We've talked about, we spoke about before, seeing clubs come up and down. I love seeing this, Hurstbridge up there, new names, new people coming into the, the top 4, top 5. Is there anything behind the scenes? Is it just the players you've picked up? What about the club? Have you seen a big change over a few years? Because I understand you've been there for a while now. So is it just because you're in charge now that's pretty much straight away it just becomes a destination club?
Oh, I won't take all the credit. Look, it's probably not something that's happened overnight either. Yeah. And as you know, we've been in Division 1 for 8 years now. And I suppose it was just a lot of years of sort of being cellar dwellers and it was time to make a change. It was a bit of a change of the guard when Shorey and Tills retired, and we were on the look for a new coach and spoke to a lot of guys that pre-season, but JC really stood out to me. Obviously had fantastic football pedigree, done a lot for different elite programs, and we both sort of agreed on the terms that we just saw that the year JC came in, that postseason, we saw 11 senior players leave. So for different reasons, some went overseas, some retired, some went elsewhere. Like your mate Lockie down at Bundy.
Oh, not that you're bitter. There you go. Cop that one, Easter.
Shout out Lockie. But on the back of that, it was a bit of a, I think pressure creates diamonds.
Yeah.
So me and JC spoke heavily about wanting to bring in guys of not only great talent, but strong moral stature, good character. And all those sort of things that mean something to us off the field as well. I think the first signing that off season was Jake Wild, also bringing his brother Mitchie, and then they were two guys that really, really sort of fit the bill. And then we sort of built on the back of that. And the group we've got now is absolutely fantastic. And you can see these guys. We spoke to them about it not being a one and done situation. Like a couple of guys signed 2-year deals off the bat, a couple of guys signed 2-year deals in the second year. And said this is where they want to be. They could sort of see, that we're up and coming. I think we've always sort of had that underdog story with us. Even when we were in Division 2 and Division 3, I was a part of all that back in 2008, 9, 10, and seeing it go the whole way. I've seen those 2 senior flags. I was a little bit young for the 2003 one the first time we came up to Division 1, but I heard it was a bit of a bloodbath.
Right.
All the old fellas around the bar always tell me about it, but they keep preaching now. We had past players day on the weekend that, this is the most talented list we've ever put together, and being able to see, life members came together and all the past players and past coaches and whatnot to give praise to our committee and our footy personnel and our playing group about, you know, where the club is now was absolutely fantastic to hear, and it makes it sort of feel all worth it.
I think from my perspective, watching from the outside, and I obviously seen you guys pre-season, I come down, we had a chat. The vibe was good. You had recruited a couple of guys, but it seems to be the same guys, as you say, re-signing. And I wrote an article Monday about club loyalty, and it goes both ways. And the feedback
well
on
written
it was,
too. I liked it.
A lot of people gave me a lot of great feedback on it, which was good. But clubs now can't rely upon juniors. But you got the greatest free kick of all time this year when Yarrambat became your aligned feeder club. You must have been ecstatic about that, because that was a big fight. Everyone wanted part of that, I would have thought.
Yeah. Sort of a bit of a Stephen Bradbury thing there, I suppose. There was, I think there was three.
You still won, mate.
Yeah, I think there was 3 or 4 other clubs already aligned via an MOU, and Yarrambat approached us, and you know they see a lot of similarities between the two clubs.
Yeah.
Obviously, being 9 minutes down the road really helps as well. A lot of great Yarrambat juniors have crossed to Hurstbridge, and some still currently play, like Bailey Jordan, Cooper Perrin, Jake Richards, for a couple to mention. But yeah, it's always been something that's been talked about since even I was a kid playing against Yarrambat, that, you know, if we were to sort of create some sort of unison between the two, it'd create something seriously special. And yeah, when we started having conversations with Yarrambat about it, and the rules changed at AFL Vic and all that, it all sort of seemed to work, you know, in our favour. And like we spoke about that day at Plenty Valley, it's probably the biggest signing of the off season.
Yeah,
really.
I agree. With anyone. Yeah.
A question for you, Mitch. You've now come down to the club, you know, splitting your time between Port Melbourne and Hurstbridge. You've seen the VFL side, you've seen the local footy side. What can you do with the comparisons and that? So what have you seen at Hurstbridge? And, you know, we've heard from Taylor how it's all been. What's your perspective as a new person coming in?
So I actually got to Hurstbridge through JC, the coach, because he was our backline coach at Carlton VFL 2 years ago. And I think just like JC's been able to bring in that level of VFL and also balancing it with that level of local. You probably get caught swinging it either one way or the other. I think each week we're getting better as a club, as a team, of finding that balance of what blokes enjoy, what blokes are at the club too long. But no, I think just the professionalism of it. And Baz has done a great job in recruiting also, players and staff. But I think we've now got a system in so that if we do have injuries or people away, whatever it may be, there's a structural system that holds up in games and majority of big games. So I think it's just important. And then now it's sort of just building on when moments come, being able to handle them, I guess.
Those players coming in as well, they create that depth. You talk about a system, but these players still have to go into that system. So if you have high quality reserves playing, pushing for ones, for me, that's always been the cornerstone of a successful club. The players that come in, they get their chance. If they go down, they don't sook, they go back again when they have their chance again. So it makes a great mix and a great competition for spots. So as good as the system is, you still got to have those players in the reserves to really push the senior team as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think the biggest thing is we've got the whole is ones, twos, blokes that don't get picked. When you come in willing to play your role, whatever that may be, and everyone's got different roles. But I think, and it was probably something we spoke about all pre-season and banged on, was team first mentality. We sort of spoke about resting at the end. So get in, get your hard work done. There's plenty of time to rest, but from the 2 hours you're at the club on Tuesday, Thursday, to the 2 hours of game day, like that's when you can knuckle in and really show like what the club means to you and everyone else who's behind it.
Mitch, I think that having VFL listed players coming back and also for you is when you come back and you've got such young kids playing, seniors, you know, 17, 18, 19 years old. And I'm going to call it earlier, a bit of a Captain Nice guy. I can see you're just a lovely guy, like, you know, but the kids must love that. You don't strike me as the guy coming back going, look at me, I'm playing VFL, you know, whatever, you dickheads. or nothing like that. You're there to help and pass this information on. Now, Bonner's played VFL as well. Wasn't good enough, but he well, I'm in the ultimate resis, I think. But I think that
from a Werribee boy.
but it's so important, isn't it, guys, to have those VFL players coming back and playing locally. How do you find that transition coming from VFL back to local footy? And I know it's Div 1 local footy. Is it a hard transition?
I've loved it. Like in terms of trying to just come back and whatever team you're selected to play in, I really enjoy it. And I was at Phillip Island lucky enough to play seniors at a younger age. And I remember the older guys there took me a bit under their wing, and not saying I do that by any stretch of the imagination, but just being able to go in, be a good teammate, and play my role, whatever that may be. And we've got plenty of guys like that, like Kai Gosto. He had a small role on the weekend. I think he kicked 4. But
quite day.
Yeah,
kicked more in a game than I kicked in my career.
But just plenty of players like that coming back. We got Kai de Clace now, and even like blokes like BJ, Naylor, a lot more experience than myself or any of us younger guys. So I'm always leaning on those guys for things, and sort of having them set the tone, I guess.
I will say quickly the fact that the way they do it now for VFL going back to local footy, we were back at the time where we had VFL and we had VFL reserves.
Yes.
And it was a lot more difficult to get those, I guess, those players that were VFL reserves, or then they turned it into the junior league or something all the way through. I reckon the way they do it now is absolutely perfect for not only development, it's great for local clubs as well, because these guys come down and bring the professionalism. These guys get good standard of football. They go back up to the VFL. Because I remember my first game playing at Bundoora, the difference between VFL and Bundoora back then was incredible. It's actually the first year you guys came up in 2004. So I had no idea that teams come up and teams went down. I had no idea. So the way they do it now, I think for football in Victoria, I just think it's the greatest thing ever. Like we've seen kids in Division 2 play VFL as well, so the structure by way of almost the local footy is the feeder team to the VFL team. Seeing guys like yourself, Dinton Asante as well, getting these opportunities at VFL level, I honestly think if that was there 15, 20 years ago, you would have had a lot more mature age kids getting drafted.
Right. Okay.
So it was almost like back in our day, I'm at that age, I can say back at our day, that if you didn't get drafted, you were kind of a VFL footy, and that was where you were put for a while. So then the kids came through as well.
So let me ask you, I put a post up the other day and a poll, I should say, the other day about would Heidelberg be competitive with the bottom 3 sides in the VFL? And overall, the review come back. I can see you now eager to answer this. And then and it was some mixed feelings in there. So, but I think overall it was nearly 33% across the board. Yes, they'd win, no chance, and they'd be competitive.
I reckon.
What's your take on that? How would they go? Is the step up that big?
2-part up.
Yep.
So they have Lockie Wilson,
Signorello.
Yeah, fair. Imagine their best side on the park. Yeah, their best side on the park.
Their best side with everyone in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'd be competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
With Vincenzo at the helm of his footy factory.
So I could will back Gilmore for a couple of games.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, they're an incredible outfit.
They're pretty elite.
Yeah, they definitely don't cease to impress.
No, and Vin does run. They're called the Footy Factory. I call you guys the Destination Club. And let me tell you why before we move on. The amount of people, and I said this to you off air before you come on, the amount of people that tell me that if they were going to change clubs, Hurstbridge would be their go-to. And I've heard that a lot this year, a lot. And hence why I tagged you the Destination Club.
To the Yarra Valley too,
Nice to the winery.
After game wineries,
Yeah, they must have internet now because Easto got on the other day with that dial-up, he said. So he did a good job. Now, losing a guy like Easto sucks, but, who knows? He might finish his career with you, but you can't take him just yet. All right, so what we do here, guys, we're going to go quickly through. We'll come back and have a chat. We go through Division 1, 2, and 3 for who's going to win. Don't worry about the points anymore. We've given that the arse. So you're going to tell me who wins in a word. So Epping v Moonda this week at Epping.
Moonda.
Murder.
Yeah, Manda.
Yeah, Manda win.
Yeah. Look, I think
But impressive though, Epping last week. Very impressive.
George Yankos told me to tell you, stuff you for jumping off Munda. You jumped off the train.
I didn't jump
You
off the
did.
train. I was
You
never
did.
on
You
it.
failed. No, you-
I was never. I was always a Fitzroy Stars man from the start. I haven't wavered from that. I'm a Jacko man, and George can kiss my rear end.
He's a good time. So yes, I agree. Moon to get that done, but not convincingly. I'm thinking it's a 15, 20 point.
Is Nipper
game.
back this week?
Nipper should be back. Nipper Marshall should be back.
I think they do it easy then.
Yeah, Nipper. Well, first game back. Give him time. He might only have
This is
30
Nipper, mate,
touches.
who just
Come through the
Pick
early
ball.
game, isn't he?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Coming through the early game.
Yeah, no, I doubt it. I don't think you play twos. Heidelberg West versus Old Paradians at Heidelberg West.
I'm going to say OP.
OP.
They seem to be moving all right besides last week.
Yep.
Um,
Everyone's entitled to one mess up.
yeah, absolutely. Heidelberg West probably just not quite there yet.
Yep, agree with that.
Yeah, I'll follow Baz.
Follow that. That's weak as piss. Just put
VFL player.
Still got to get back on the purple, green, and blue, mate. I can't handle this blue top.
Well, this is going to be a test for me for Old Paradians. I think they're a good side, and I think Heidelberg West is definitely sitting where they should be sitting. But if they drop one to Heidelberg West, I'd be off the train. I will go OPs, but Heidelberg West, they're up and down, but they're on the up at the moment.
There's just so many. So every week you just sit there, and there's going to be one of them that's going to be completely wrong.
There's an upset every
There's a
week.
massive upset, and we'll sit there and go, we look stupid again.
You do that without the tip. Ivanhoe versus Reservoir at Ivanhoe. Wouldn't matter if this was played in the middle of the Northern Territory. The score wouldn't change, but I'll go Ivanhoe.
Yeah, I'll back you there.
Yep.
Give me a margin, just on one game.
Oh, 72.
72.
128. Somewhere in between, 80 or 90.
Yeah, I'm probably
We'll talk about that score though. See if they can kick it though. Still
Yeah,
have
I
that
know.
issue up
Well,
and down. Don't
they
we?
should be able to get their 30 scoring shots this week. Kilmore versus Laylaw at Kilmore. Now, last time they
Yes,
played,
first win.
Laylaw beat Kilmore at Kilmore. But Kilmore's becoming a bit of a killer dealer. They're knocking all the big sides off. So
Where are they playing it?
it's at Kilmore.
So they win at Laylaw last time? Or?
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's at Kilmore.
They must have been Laylaw last time.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We just make this up as
How
we
do
go.
you get to run this show?
I don't know.
just
I need that
don't
dog
get it.
button back.
I can't because no one would be able to speak. If you just do.
What do you got for me, Taylor? Give me a winner.
I
Kilmore,
think Lance is doing really good things at
Great job.
Laylaw, but I'm going to go Kilmore.
Kilmore?
It's a big, scary oval. Lot bigger than
It's the
what's
drive
that-
that kills
yeah.
Yeah. Kangaroos dodging.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Kilmore at Kilmore.
Mitch.
I'm going to go the opposite to Baz.
You're gonna lay off.
So we're not the same.
All right, that's good. I like it.
Oh, it's still
You're easy influenced.
No, I think there's
Kilmore.
going to be upset.
Kilmore.
Kilmore.
I think I'm going to go Kilmore. I think Laylaw's improved out of sight, but Kilmore's on fire. And Josh Coe, we've got to get him on here shortly. Maverick or whatever he's called. No, Goose. He looks like Goose.
Yeah.
He's a splitting image of Goose. So we're going to get him on. Coe, best on ground last week. I love Coe. So we'll get him on. Old Eltham Collegians versus King Lake.
Where is it?
It's at Old Eltham.
Yeah, okay.
Does it really matter? To be fair.
Gotta go to the Turtles, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad one last week, didn't they?
Yeah. I
I don't know how Shane's gonna go getting out of first gear in the swamp.
It's if he's
Yeah,
playing
no,
down
all
there
respect,
this
the same
week,
thing we talk about every week. King Lake, these are guys slowly building a club again.
Yeah.
But you're going to come up a team who got beaten last week. Very proud team, been amazing this year. We didn't really know much about them. So I think they make a pretty big statement this week.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Stop doing that.
Fitzroy
Makes me feel
Stars.
bad.
Huh?
Stop agreeing. It makes me feel bad.
Fitzroy Stars have the bye, so probably a good rest for them. We'll go straight into Divi 2 and we'll finish with Divi 1. Come back to that. Panton Hill versus St Mary's at Panton Hill. St Mary's for me are off. They're hot and cold at the moment.
They're unselectable.
Does make
And
it
they're
hard.
unselectable against as well. So
So is Panton Hill. So they're
well,
unselectable.
I'll call a draw
as
then.
well.
Let's go draw.
You're going to draw?
Yeah.
All
Big
right,
call.
that's different.
I'm gonna go St Mary's.
St Mary's?
Yeah.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, I think St Mary's get this done pretty well. Yeah, pretty easily. Lower Plenty versus Northcote Park. For me, this is match of the round in this division because I reckon Northcote Park are coming like a freight train. I'm going to lead the way and I'm going to say Northcote Park get this done.
I've got a couple of mates still at lower, and I I think this is going to be one of those games where they really band together and get it done, because that's sort of going to keep them out of that relegation conversation if they get it done.
Keeps them in the finals.
I know Northcote Park were good last week, but I'm going to say lower.
Yep, fair enough. Mitch?
Yeah, I think lower get it.
Yep. All right, so now I'm the only imbecile.
No, Northcote Park.
I agree with me again. I'm walking out of here, Bonners.
We're quitting the show.
They don't
two
like
in a row.
They don't like it.
Two in a row. We don't like it.
When we agree.
It means that I'm always going to be wrong.
Thomastown versus South Morang at Thomastown.
I'm going to go an upset.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm going to go Tomo. I reckon this is one of those ones where...
Turn it up.
All right. Come back next week.
I'm going to say we're disagreeing, but what do you got for me, Taylor?
I'm going to go an upset.
I think it's South Morang.
South Morang.
Yeah.
South Morang get done.
I reckon South Morang by 75 points.
Ooh.
Thomastown have been rubbish of late. Very disappointing.
Can you say that out loud?
Rubbish of late. Prove me wrong. I did it to Bundy last week. I said they'd lose by 72 points and they won. And as I rocked up to the game, I got absolutely attacked. And I mean attacked. I should have called the police. Big Mitchy Antonello come over and said, "Don't you come on our side." What you said on the footy show the other night. So
should have whacked him, Mitch. I would have
probably
agreed.
should have whacked me, wouldn't it? Yes, I think South Morang by a country mile. They could probably go home at half time. Lorimer versus Diamond Creek. Lorimer versus Diamond Creek at Lorimer. I love Jimmy Atkins. He's sort of like unofficially my son, but
he's so happy he's not though.
He is. I love him, but Diamond Creek by a mile.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to tip against Diamond. I'm mates with Jimmy as well. Jimmy was a senior captain at Hurstbridge when I was coming through the ranks, and as good as a job as he's been doing down there, can't see anywhere where Damo will lose that game.
Yeah, no, agree.
I think Damo win just.
Just?
Yeah.
Do you know Jimmy as well?
No, I don't.
You're about the only one that doesn't. You don't need to. You're a VFL player. You don't need to hang out with Division 2 coaches, do you, Mickey? Look, I really wanted Lorimer to do better this year. I actually thought they'd have a year like South Morang had last year, and they'd finish a lot higher. But
no, say what you said, but they would finish.
What's that?
In finals.
I said they'd finish 5th.
Which is quite a bit higher.
Finals, isn't it?
Finals? Yeah, no, I thought
isn't that what I just said? You just said it in a different way.
Well, my way.
You just want to feel better because you said 5th and then not finals.
But they just what has this taught us? And you've had to take the club up divisions, right? Has it taught us that you cannot go from Division 3 to Division 2 and not go and recruit a couple of stars or a couple of experienced
impossible.
Players? Yeah, it's impossible. Isn't it?
I think most clubs that come up, say bar South Morang, realise how big the gap is until you get there.
Yeah.
3 or 4 additions to your premiership list minimum.
Yeah.
One or two have to be on boards.
I didn't think that. I actually thought what Jimmy was doing was right.
I feel like in the middle, when you go up a thing, it's the clearance work is massively different.
Pace
so you watch the with the exception of say the Fitzroy Stars have got the big boys in the middle. You find the middle of the ground is where half the problem happens.
Yeah.
They just can't compete around the ball.
Yeah.
I think we saw that a few times where they just get smashed around the ball. So once you come up, for me, you have to have those 2 big on ballers.
Yeah.
And then you go up again, you got to have those 2 different on ballers as well. So it's good to have the big boys, but around the clearances, I reckon, is where when I was even back when I was playing, when teams that came up, you'd always smash them around the ball.
Yeah. Well, there's a few questions here. Are we all happy with those tips? No,
but we'll do them anyway.
I think there's a couple of questions here. I've missed a few. I think you were getting. I worked out someone's name's Milk. That'd be you, Mickey. Can't imagine why. So
it's probably not what I think.
Oh, really? What is it?
Drank milk at the first club function.
What is it?
I had a glass of milk at the first club function because I was driving.
Oh, that's responsible. I'm proud.
No.
As a father, I'm responsible. I'm
You'll
proud
be
of you.
executed.
As a 21-year-old bloke at the footy club,
I'm giving it to you.
Absolutely beat and soft. No, you've done the right thing. And you played.
This has got Kalua in it, mate. We're not interested. So
I wanted you to say something. That's because Taylor wouldn't shut up at the start. He told us his life story.
Yeah,
I just happened to be there, copping a little bit of grief. I give him a glass.
You are seriously copping it.
This is getting better by the second. We can't write these. Give Baz a He's on one. What are you talking about?
Thanks, Pete.
We had to boost him up. Stand up, Baz. Do any of these blokes like you?
Show them all your tats.
Oh, mate, there's no lack of
Oh, no,
there.
exactly.
Someone's got on there and had a ball. It's about $47,000 on his arm.
My kids don't draw that much.
Oh, this milk thing is absolutely stuck. Now, we're going to come back with a couple more questions, but we're going to go to a quick break and thank one of our sponsors.
G'day, my name's Chris Newton. I'm one of the proud owners of the EA Group. I'm rapt to be on this show and supporting sports, supporting local sport. We're very proud sponsors of a range of footy teams, soccer teams, AFL teams around the country, particularly regionally where they need most of our help. Give our team at EA Group a call. We've got all your TSAP, crushers, screeners, trommels, and as you can see, everything else that you need to be able to load these wonderful machines. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be on the show and to support your success.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Footy Show. No more secret men's business going on behind there. Now, Mitch, how are you enjoying the VFL this year?
Yeah, no, it's been good.
Yep.
It's been good. Been different. Being at an Align the previous 2 years, going to a standalone. Yeah, no, it's been really enjoyable. Really good group of guys, good group of coaches. Yeah, just looking to keep progressing my footy.
Big change, though, isn't it, from Carlton, or no change?
It was a little bit of change. It feels a lot different in terms of, feels more like a local club.
Okay.
Just in terms of you train with 23 blokes that are going to play on the weekend rather than train with 20 blokes and only 6 or 7 play. Both were great. Both are really good and I enjoyed both.
Yep.
How are we going with the old guys down there? I remember back there they used to give all the opposition a great bit of information. There's still the old guys running around watching the VFL Port Melbourne side. They used to sit on the side, tell me about my Italian heritage and what sport I should be playing. What are the supporters like down there?
They're pretty passionate. I hear a few stories from Dad on the weekend, but no, they're very passionate. We had a really good win on the weekend. And just seeing how much it meant to all of them was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like everyone supporters through Billy Gowers, he's got a mate, Lucas, who has Down syndrome, and he was in the circle with the cup for a tradie round. And
it's amazing.
It was really cool to see that aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Are the rooms any bigger? Because they were puny back in the day.
No, they're pretty big. They're pretty big.
That's good.
Good improvements. And Taylor, what's the goal? Where do you want to finish on the ladder? And I know you're going to say as high as I can and all that, but what was your pre-season goal, your personal one, not JC's? Where did you think the boys could finish come season's end?
I'd like to get the double chance.
Yeah.
If possible, like realistically this year, I'd be stoked if we won a final.
Mm-hmm.
If we go further than that, it's above and beyond. So double chance would be nice, but
I can't see you missing finals.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm a firm believer with the talent and how tight it is. I reckon the double chance is needed because Heidelberg, is really a lay down misère. I just can't see them not going straight in, and the double chance is going to be needed. I personally, that's what I think. It's that close of a competition. I think you've done an amazing job. I watched that Joel Caldwell video of what you guys have done, and that, for me, that's an amazing video. Clubs don't give those insides, and you got full access to him. You had Joel as a coach actually as well, didn't you? At Carlton.
Yep.
But he seems like a genuinely invested, caring, fatherly type coach. Not a yell and scream coach. I mean, you must be ecstatic having a guy of that level of talent at your club.
I reckon I'm actually yet to hear him yell.
Have you?
Maybe personally to me. But, no, that's probably why I'm having shots at goal. I shouldn't. But no, he's amazing. As I said before, that structure that he's been able to provide. It's first person to ring you if you don't get picked for VFL, and
really
love to have you back. Like, bummer you didn't get picked, but mate, like, we're stoked to have you. Sure, he's like that with everyone. And he's just genuinely invested. Like, I spoke to him on the bye week, and I sort of said, mate, just take a break, because he's probably very similar to Baz in terms of just would do it 24/7 if he could. Anything else?
What's his mantra? Like, every coach has that mantra of, I know it's team first and structure, but they always have that go-to that they put it in. I had a coach that was always like, give off a handball as soon as you get get a mark, or if you're pushing forward, make sure you cover your mates. Does he have any of those, I guess, quirks that you sit there and go, everyone knows this as soon as they walk through the door?
I reckon pre-game, you walk through, there's going to be a story.
Yeah.
Every game's sort of got a different meaning in terms of what we're aiming for at the end of the year.
He's big on metaphors and all that. Yeah.
And it really relates. And I think it gets the group going at times. And I think everyone could, fair to say, they'd expect a story when you come in. And no, they're good.
If you could add a player to your side, either of you can answer this. If you had a free kick, not a name, but if you could add a key position player, a forward, a back, or was there any others? But if you, or a winger, whatever you want, a midfielder. If you could go and add one more, which one would you go and grab?
At this point of the season or at the start of the season?
Right
now.
To win the whole thing.
Well, you give me free, you give me now.
Centre half forward would be nice.
Yeah, I was going to say pre or post BJ. I think with BJ, without BJ, we would like another key forward just because I think you see how well BJ and Naylor work together. Like, let alone local, but I don't know many teams. Like you even look at the AFL with Harry and Charlie. Not many teams have two keys defenders that can run with two.
Such a bonus, isn't it?
And I feel like that was always our big 1-2 punch. Like, and that sort of gets everyone else involved around the ground. Small forwards. Wouldn't mind Easter back without name dropping. So that's a key defender.
I think
I was just going through my head there. Easter.
But he's playing in defence, so would you move him up forward now?
He can do it all, mate.
Yeah, he's a star. As I said on the show the other day, he's the only guy you could punch in the mouth and he'd thank you and say no trouble. He's the nicest bloody guy. He's an absolute star, though, of a footballer, in all seriousness. And getting to watch him every week, just getting the job done is amazing. Honestly, between him and Jesse King, I couldn't split the difference this year. Jesse, and I didn't mention Jesse the other day, and I wanted to. He's standing up in a year where they're having such junior kids coming through. They're having to bleed a lot of kids through this year, losing so many talented players. But Jesse King's having another stellar season. Maybe you draft them both. Kingy will send a message in a minute. He'll want blood for us to talk about Easto leaving here. As soon as I mentioned it here the other day.
Thanks, Ralphie.
He's actually, Ralphie's been all over this the last couple of days.
Ralphie's a past president, actually.
Righto.
Yeah, so he's always in my corner.
Mention Easto again, and I'm blocking you off the page. You're gone. Easto's staying where he is. But you have those players that have to stand up each year. Who's your player that stood up this year that wasn't or isn't in your leadership group? You've thought, oh, they've really come on this year. There's always that one surprise packet.
I wouldn't say like leadership esque, but I think Luke DeGoldie's sort of bounced off the page for me. I think he only played 3 or 4 senior games last year, and I think he's only missed one this year. He sort of just gives you that energy, half forward pocket, tackle pressure, first gives. What you expect those guys to do. And I think he's kicking a goal a week at the moment, so he's probably been the most impressive for me outside of your regular senior group.
Yep.
Give me another name who in 5 years' time, maybe an under 19, maybe a reserve, that people will now, I think we try this with every team, that the guy in the under 16, the under 19s is coming through, the reserves guy in 5 years' time we'll be talking about a lot more.
Jack Smith.
Yep.
Jack Smith.
Simple name.
Jack.
Lucky it's a very generic name.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you make that up?
He set us up.
He's set him up the wrong way, hasn't he? Yeah.
The way he goes about it's fantastic. He's a former Hurstbridge junior. I spent a bit of time down at Dymo. He's now come back, and the way he goes about it, I think he's fantastic. He's strong. He's aggressive. Drives the legs. Does everything right. First, second, third. Cracks at it. I just think he's going to absolutely burst out of the gates when he gets his first senior game. I think he's going to be fantastic down the line.
Mitch, who have you seen that you've fallen in love with?
Bit of left centre, senior player already. Stewie down back for us. I reckon in 5 years will be the best defender in the comp.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
If he's not already.
20?
Yeah, if he's not already.
23 or 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's just like last year got tasked with all the big jobs, and this year is like grabbed him by the throat. And he's been massive for us. And he's getting better every week.
I think one of the hardest things is, and we're going to quickly speak about future stars now. I put a post up the other day. Who are the future stars? Can't have turned 21 in season this year. So under 21, who's setting the league alight this year? We're going to select our best 25, or what we think is our best 25. It's obviously subjective, but
no, it's right.
but I'm still copping grief over putting Lee Judd at number 7 or 8 last year. Like, cheapest creepers, Peter Dawson flogged me. But I think there's so much talent coming through under 21 across all divisions, and they're unnoticed at the moment. They're really unnoticed. And all of a sudden, these guys will creep up on you, and they'll be that taking over level. I think, honestly, the league's in great nick with the quality of juniors that are coming through. And you've got access to the little footy factory junior club, they seem to be producing.
They produce great
AFL player after AFL player, so that's all good. All right, so make sure you send in on our page. I put a section up there the other day for future stars. Please get your nominations in. Don't whinge to me after we've selected our 25, but it is heating up to be a tough one. Going to be hard to leave guys like Parker Heatley out of it, because he's an absolute star. He's leading the goal kicking as a 19-year-old. I hope he gets a crack at VFL. Surely in the off-season he gets a call down to go. Phillip Island boy as well. I'll tell you what, his old man wasn't too shabby either.
Yeah,
pretty bloody good.
Put his knee in the back of my head a few times.
Yeah, not hard enough. All right, let's get to Division 1.
Field, I hope.
Where did you play at Northern Preston? Were you drafted somewhere else? I meant to ask you.
No, I spent a year. Back then, it was when the AFL reserve. So I spent my first year split between Melbourne and Preston, and then my following 3 years were just at Preston. I think I had a run with Bulldogs as well, but I think you get to a point where, as I said, once you get to 18, 19, if you're not drafted back then, it was pretty much. And I love VFL. I couldn't have thought of any better place to end up than Preston for 3 or 4 years. I still love going down there. Great memories. So we got flogged every week, but it was still it was funny though. It was one of the best places to play football.
Flogged every week.
Well, the standalone club, I still don't believe there's enough put into standalone clubs. I feel like they've been left to run themselves. And ever since my day, Preston's always been fighting for players and money and stuff like that. So I've always been a believer that a lot has to be done. We want this to be a top quality second tier. I still think the Prestons, the Coburgs to a certain extent, the Frankstons and this, they just need that little bit of a kick up to help them to get to the standard. Not a great deal. They do a great job there.
What's the concession? What's the concession to make them? Doesn't everyone have access to the same kids anyway?
Yeah, but you're looking at, I guess, pathways to the AFL. I think that's always been the way.
Yeah.
Your teams like your Port Melbourne, your Sandringhams, you've got a lot of teams around that area have a lot more look at them. Not to say that teams at Preston don't, but they've always been that one where, the northern suburb ones, them and Coburg, they've always, I don't know whether other teams do have that income to be able to pay a little bit more, which is always what a lot of it comes down to. But I think that just a little bit of extra into those lower teams, and I reckon the standard of EFL goes.
Port Melbourne wasn't directly aligned, and they've had so much success under Gary Ayres.
Yeah, but that's where you go. You're trying to actually get people there to be able to do it. So I think the biggest problem that Preston had for a while is as soon as they split from Carlton, it was a really big split.
Yeah.
So you kind of left back at square one. When it was Preston Carlton, there was really, good feel about it. Yeah, pretty much. So you still had the club running really well, but as soon as they split, it was almost like a complete split, and then they've got to rebuild again. So, people and old mate of mine.
20 years.
Well, you can't say no. I've never said no to anything because, we talk about it all the time. We're talking about teams coming up and winning, 8 years ago, as they were saying, that trying to get yourself up there now, you can't say they're not contending. So any team that does it right, has every right to do so.
Can I ask you a question? You don't have to answer it. Is there a rebate for if Mitch gets picked up by Carlton and he's a junior at a club? Does the club get a rebate still? They used to give some money.
I think there was a grassroots footy thing years ago. I don't know if it's still a thing anymore.
They give football.
Usually be cash.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the cash we got when Jack Rhymes got drafted. We did a whole new entertainment system in the footy club, new TV and all that stuff. And unfortunately it got demolished in the renovation. But I still remember it very vividly. Like it was a very plain old club room, and then the thank you from the AFL for getting Jack across the line. We got this massive entertainment unit.
Incentives type thing, giving club reward for helping these guys come through, especially if they're a mature age, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great.
So I probably wouldn't get nothing for Mitch. Like maybe St. Mary's might get something, but he's not.
How many games did you play at St. Mary's, Mitch?
Under 7s, 8s, 9s.
Okay.
So what's that?
Were you good at under 7, 8, 9? Were you blitzing it at under 7, 8, 9? Be honest.
Nah, far.
This is a show all about egos here.
Nah, far.
Nah, really.
Two of the biggest ones sitting next to you.
and before we move on to the interview, at what age did you feel like, I'm actually all right here? I could go another level, because we speak about some kids that are not very good up to the age of 15. Then all of a sudden, they find something, whether it's courage, whether it's a bit more ability or belief. What age did you think? Were you in the Knights? Probably you were in the Gippsland Power program.
Yeah.
At what age did you get picked up for that?
I played in the 15s, Div 2 carnival.
Okay. Yep.
And then played 16s.
So you must have been an all right under 15s player.
Oh, not really. Just tried really hard. No skill.
Year
just
after.
Chat to him about his ego. We've
Year
got to get that up
after
there.
Year after, you're all right. First senior flag.
Yeah.
At 16?
Yeah.
With who?
Phil Long.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Must have been all right.
Nah. Far from.
You are the most modest guy we've ever had on there. When we do awards at the end of the year, you're going to, all right, guys, give me one-word answers. Division 1. This is going to be a big weekend of Division 1, mate, because North Heidelberg, West Preston at North Heidelberg. West Preston won't go away. I have put them in the bin. They can't make finals, in my opinion. This is the time to shove it up my butt and tell me that I was wrong, but North Heidelberg for me.
Yeah. North probably the hardest game in the fixture.
Yeah.
So North,
Yeah. North win that.
Parker to kick 10.
Oh.
Big call.
I'm
going to Drea boys will have something to say about that.
We'll kick 1-9.
I'm impressed with. I'm bloody impressed with West Preston.
Yeah.
They were probably selected to be right at the bottom, and they are fighting and fighting. They've got a great coach down there in Ian Aiken, and they've got a great bunch of guys. We had a few of them on the show during the year. I'm heavily impressed with West Preston's fight. Banyule versus Hurstbridge, no brainer. Banyule by 50 points. This is a big game, right?
Massive.
And not because you're here, but I'm more impressed with Hurstbridge than I am Banyule. Banyule's still got a couple of guys away, and it doesn't matter who's in and who's out. Same as Bundoora beating Mont last week. You just look at the 4 points. That's all that matters. And you've probably got a couple of injuries as well. I think Hurstbridge get it done, but I'm thinking there's a goal that separates this game.
Yeah.
She clearly got it.
Geez, my blood pressure won't like it, but I hope it'll be more than a goal. But
the boys will spark up.
You'll spark up.
Yep.
Give me a number. Give me a number, Mitch.
No, I'm not.
Are you playing this week, or are you at Port?
We don't find
I'll
out.
let Baz know at 8:30.
Yeah. Bonners, give me a tip. Now this is hard for you because
I'll have to go
Harrow's
Harrow. An old mate of mine. I've seen them play. I probably need to get down and see you guys a bit more. I've seen what they've done to close to Heidelberg, and at Beverly Road as well. It's it is a little bit of a probably bigger ground than yours, so it's a bit of a different.
I heard it's fantastic.
It's
Actually, since the
magnificent.
redo.
It's just
It's
superb.
amazing.
Yeah.
So only just though. Like as I said, could go either way. I just think they maybe do it by under 10.
All right. This is the most fired up you've got, Mitch. Nah, absolutely not. All right. Very good. No milk for you. Greensboro versus Bundy at Greensboro. I tip Bundy every week by a point, and they did the upset last week. So
Did you tip him last week?
no, I said they'd get flogged by 72 points and they won. So, Mitch, you dickhead, here it is. I reckon you get done by 104 points. So, prove me wrong, and I really hope Bundoora win.
Yeah.
But I think...
And just quickly too, 50th anniversary on
yes.
Saturday night down at the club. 20 past players, get a hold of Kingy.
Yep.
I'll be there, so I might deter a few, but
Yep.
It'll be a great night to get down there. So to enjoy the past and get the future up and running.
Yeah,
50 years old, the club.
Mm.
Wow.
1974.
It's young.
Which that's 50 years less
It's a
than
very good year, 1974.
We'll get to that.
So, Boys, what do you? My tip is Greensborough. In all seriousness, and I think Greensborough probably get it done by 14 points.
No, Bundy again.
Yep, good. I like where you're heading.
I'm gonna say Greensy.
Greensy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Bundy because I'm going there Saturday.
First time that he said that.
And if Greeny's playing, it would be best on. That's my call.
I like this. You're coming out of your shell. Training's working out a treat. Eltham versus McLeod, match of the round for me in Division 1. And if McLeod drop this, it really hurts and comes down to a bit of a battle against Bundy in the second last round. But Bundy getting that win last week over Mont sort of hurts a little bit as well. No one's safe, but Eltham McLeod at Eltham. Congratulations to Bongo signing on again for another year. He's a fantastic coach. I think Eltham get this done, but I reckon it's probably a couple of points. It's close.
I reckon they'll get it by about 3 goals. I'm a big fan of Eltham. We've had a few of the boys on. I do think that
so what if they don't come on the show, you don't tip them?
No.
Right. Yeah.
Is Hurley playing?
I'm not sure, but
that would be a big difference.
Yeah.
No, I still think Eltham get it done. They're starting to grow each week. They're starting to find their feet a little bit, so I reckon they'll get it done by about 3 goals.
Where's it at?
It's at Eltham, Panther Place.
Yeah, okay, Eltham. I think Eltham.
Eltham.
I'm gonna say McLeod.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd make a great end of the year, wouldn't it?
It would.
Mate,
It'd be like that.
Not really.
2017 race.
Yeah.
The blood pressure is going to be
good.
dying down there.
Yeah.
I don't think Kingy will make the year if they get up this year. He's going to just end up in an ambulance shortly.
Probably.
Wouldn't mind just locking this away as early as we can. And then Heidelberg, the VFL side taking on Montmorency.
Monty pushed them last time though.
No chance. Heidelberg 45 points.
They got a good run at home for the rest because they've had done all their away games. So I think they'll win by about 7 goals.
I seen Nash's profile the other day. He's just messing around the world, not a care in the world, an absolute superstar.
Can you imagine doing that back in our day?
Oh, no.
Mid-season trip.
Yeah.
People doing mid-season trips is off the
Vinny
charts.
before he learned how to coach, and he would have lost his mind.
Yeah. No, I think Heidelberg, you got Heidelberg.
Yeah.
Boys.
I would love to see a good game out of it, like Monty respond after the loss last week and someone prove that Heidelberg are beatable.
Yep.
But I don't think you can tip against Heidelberg.
The only team that beat them in 2 years.
Reason not to. I think it goes apart.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Who wins? We won't talk about Division 1. You'll think you're still a chance, and I think you're a chance if Heidelberg don't turn up. But tell me, who wins Division 2 and Division 3 from both your perspectives as of today? If it's time to pick someone that's won it, who's won it, I want to know who you think wins it.
I'm going to go Stars for Div 3.
Yep.
If they can keep that list together and, stay healthy for the year, I reckon they'll definitely get it done.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Division 2, yeah.
Yeah, Creek, Whittlesea, Morang.
Yeah, they're the only
yeah,
really, yes.
Yeah. I know it could be one of those ones where Whittlesea go undefeated all year and then cough it up on the last day. But
pressure.
I mean, Dymo have done that as well in the past.
They have. They should have won it last year, definitely.
I'm going to go St. Mary's.
Yeah, St. Mary's.
Yeah.
You're a dickhead.
After all that speech you've gone for someone you didn't even
That was
talk
the biggest build-up of all time.
Wow.
I need to get him on the milk and all. What have you got for us, Mitch?
I'm going to go Fitzroy because you spoke about 2 mids.
Yeah.
It's
got
so many.
They got heaps of mids.
Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot of it, but based on what you were talking about before with that,
They've got Batman and Robin. Now we know Jai's Batman.
Yeah,
and
we definitely
Kane's Robin.
that could carry a big margin come the end of the year. And Div 2, yeah, I'm going to go with the Roots at St. Mary's.
That's weak as test boys. Bonners, who do you think wins it?
I still think Diamond Creek win Divi 2, and I can't get off Fitzroy Stars. I just see, you look around the ground, they've got big forwards to kick it to. They're on balls. Like Jai is going up for Jai Proctor, as you called him last week.
Yeah.
With Jacko there too. I love what Jacko does for football. I love seeing Kane there. I see Jai Burns every week. I see some of, got the blokes in the back line just running amok. So I honestly think that they're the team to beat. But as you said, Mernda are close to, just as favourite as they are for the two.
Yeah.
I just can't go past them. I just think they're a great football side.
Sticking as I have all year, including pre-season with Fletch and the boys, I think they're the strongest team on the park by a country mile when they can have that whole side. You've got Billy coming back. You've got Nipper coming back. You've got quality guys playing twos. So they've got the depth if something goes wrong. You've got little superstars like Joel Harris just killing it every week. Kai Turner, best on ground on the weekend. I'm thinking Mernda, but it will be one of the best final series.
It will be amazing
we've ever seen across the
especially
board.
for third division to be superb.
Yep. Now, boys, thank you so much for coming on. It's all about the clubs at the end of the day. I wanted to ask you before we wind it up, who's the major sponsors or any sponsors you want to give a shout out to from your club this year?
Our major being Associated Freight Management. So big thanks to DC. Everything we do sort of wouldn't happen without him.
Yep.
On-site poly welding, my Uncle Jamie, another major of ours. Penton Hill Hotel, and then DATS Logistics and CFS Container Fumigation Services. They're our five majors.
And the truth is, there's no clubs without these sponsors. It's so hard now to get sponsorship money in. Hurstbridge is a nice little tight-knit community and seem to stick pretty fat with you guys as well, which is great. And you're having an outstanding season. Bonners, that concludes...
Not quite, Darren. Not quite. I know you want to gloss over it, but your lovely wife was here before. You would not let her leave any balloons.
She brought balloons in.
We have some cakes here by the lovely Katie, and they have a specific number on them, Daz. What's the number on it?
It's 40 plus 10.
That's a big 50, Daz, tomorrow. 50 years
denial,
old.
Thank you.
First time you've made a 50 in your life. It's amazing. Happy birthday for tomorrow. I know you don't like putting yourself out there for your birthday, but to get to 50 for someone like yourself to actually get that far, I think is amazing, and it should be said. And the fact that we get cakes from Katie, I think is fantastic.
That's what you're most impressed about. It was filthy there was no cakes from Katie last week.
Katie, come on.
I apologise for the sound errors with Jamie before. We've never done a dial-in before in the studio. I'll get him back on Sunday. I'll have a word with him, and we'll have a good long chat with Jamie on the weekend. So for all the young talent timers that tuned in, I apologise, but we'll get that sorted. And until next week, guys, just keep kicking goals.